say he had gotten a meeting with Trump, we would probably all be around this table saying, oh, is he potentially undermining Team Canada's efforts right now?
What a coincidence. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today, we have Mark Carney over in the UK. It just happens, must have been complete coincidence that Brookfield does a massive merger the exact same day, and a merger that Mark Carney will profit from personally. Who would have known? It must be dumb luck. We also have Pierre Poilievre talking to state Republicans. We got a school in Calgary doing Ramadan, aka not feeding kids. Got some other stuff here. Let's jump into this. Starting this episode off, what have we got here? Canada is now a net importer of electricity. You can see we used to export our electricity, which is these gray lines above zero. The imports are the blue lines below, and over time you can see this has gone to the point where now we're importing more electricity than we are producing. This is sad. We have so many ways to produce electricity, whether it's nuclear, hydro, oil and gas. This is pathetic. Moving ahead, we've got Keenan Bexty from Juno News posting this. Holy moly, this is real. We checked. Calgary Middle School bans food in cafeteria for Ramadan. That's right, starving the kids for Ramadan. This is not India. Newsflash. I highly encourage everyone who lives in this area who have your kids go to this school to call them and tell them what you think of this. Calling the shared space no food space to accommodate Muslim students. No, this is Canada. This is not Pakistan. This isn't the Middle East. This is Canada. Our culture is not built around Muslims. They have to accommodate our culture, or they can go live in the Middle East or Pakistan or anywhere else. And just so we have the name of the school here, it is Fairview School Ramadan Accommodation. So if you have kids who go to Fairview School, I encourage you to call the school and discuss politely with them what you think about this. We've got Tim Hodgson posting this. Iftar gatherings like this at the Islamic Center of Markham remind us of the power of community. What is this? Pandering post by Tim Hodgson. Meanwhile, we've got Pierre Poilievre continuing his tour in America, meeting with Michigan State Republican as well as an Ohio State Republican. This is a good look. This is what Carney should be doing.
I'm here today in Detroit, Michigan, north of Canada, in fact, with some great friends of Canada. We've got famous Amos O'Neill, who is a member of the state legislature in Michigan. What's your district?
94th District.
94th District.
Saginaw County.
All right.
Pierre's doing a good job down there. And these guys even mention how cheap the oil they get from us, and then they process it, sell it back to us. They're making money off of us. They know the situation here and how beneficial Canada is to America. Pierre put out a good plan there. I mean, I don't know if Donald Trump would go for it. If he does go for it, Pierre's going to look like an absolute hero and Carney's going to look like a loser. So we'll see what happens with this. We don't know if he's going on Rogan or not, but he's down in Texas right now. Meanwhile, we've got Kate McKenna here dropping some truth bombs on CBC.
Kate, why is Mr. Poilievre pitching this now? I mean, I was talking to an expert last night about this, and he said, like, the 232 tariffs came in effect a year ago. Our industry's been really pummeled by these tariffs for a long time. He was just kind of like searching for a reason as to why Poilievre would be releasing this policy now after what we've been through over the last little while. Why do you think that now is the time? Why is Poilievre coming out with his proposal?
Well,
this is such a dumb question to ask. Obviously, if he went there right after Carney became prime minister, he would look like he's trying to undermine him. It would be ridiculous. If Poilievre's going down there back in April or May of last year, he waited and gave Carney time to make a deal. Carney's not making a deal. He's destroying our auto industry. He's on vacation now. This is Poilievre's time to go down there. This is the right move to do. Of course, the way they frame this on CBC is to make him look bad.
Well, firstly, we've seen a lot of companies leave towns where auto manufacturing is a major hub. I'm thinking about, Bowmanville and Oshawa and some of the reduced production that is happening in those communities. So certainly this is top of mind for Canadians in those communities. But to your point, we've been under this tariff threat for a year now. And I think that the Prime Minister has had a year to demonstrate meaningful action and progress on the auto file, but also the Canada-US relationship more broadly. And it's noteworthy to me that Dominic LeBlanc and the chief trade negotiator were in DC last week to have a meeting or the Friday before. And there has been a huge amount of attention paid to Poilievre's trip to the US or the absence of his visit to Washington, but nary a word about what the government and officials there are actually doing to get things back on track. Not a readout, no interviews after that. And I think that is where a lot of Canadians would like to hear from their elected officials right now. It's not about what meetings are or not happening in Washington with Conservatives. It's about what Dominic LeBlanc and Mark Carney and the chief trade negotiator are up to when they are actually meeting with officials in DC.
Yeah, she's right here. They went after Poilievre. They made this big story that Donald Trump administration even hates Pierre Poilievre instead of asking, what did Dominic LeBlanc get? What's Dominic LeBlanc doing right now? He's out almost campaigning for the by-election in Terrebonne. He's not down in America trying to get a deal. Those guys don't care. They're not going to get a deal.
Control room, do we have that graphic of the exports? I want to just show our viewers at home again, just to Kate's point about the steep decline in exports. I just want to show you this progress, if you want to call it that. Look at those numbers on your screen. There has been just an absolute decimation of the exports in this country, and it is truly shocking when you look at where we were just a year ago to where we are now. And so I think that's, to Kate's point, it's probably right to ask these questions of the government too. What are they doing to staunch the bleeding on this, Vandana? I want to talk...
What a novel idea to ask the government what they're doing. Wouldn't do that on CBC. Now, be fair, JP Tasker at least bringing this up and talking about it. He's a little bit better than David Cochrane and Rosemary Barton, that's for sure. Jumping ahead here.
Avoid something like that.
No, but there's a double whammy if he doesn't get the same level of access.
But also we have to recognize that if he had gotten a meeting, right? Like, let's say he had gotten a meeting with Trump, we would probably all be around this table saying, "Oh, is he potentially undermining Team Canada's efforts right now?" So he's in a no-win position, which is, again, I think he's doing the right thing by being solutions-oriented. People want to see that, you know, the Conservatives are not there to just complain relentlessly. And again, the Prime Minister has had a year. I think it would have been inappropriate, frankly, for the leader of the opposition to trounce down to the United States in April or May of last year, having not been successful in the election, trying to do this. It's been a year. Very little has changed. We all praised the interstate outreach in 2016 when it happened in the last round of CUSMA negotiations. And I think that cross-partisan spirit and consensus served us pretty well then. And it's something that I think remains available to the government now if they want to work with the Conservatives on it.
Okay, let's leave it there on that topic. There are divisions in the Conservative caucus over a push to have controversial hockey commentator Don Cherry awarded the Order of Canada. The Power Panel with their analysis of the politics behind that debate. Next, stay with...
Controversial Don Cherry. Induct him into the Order of Canada. They put anyone and everyone in there. They just put Nick Nanos in there. They're not going to put in Don Cherry. And as I just said, it would have been too early last year. Even after July, Carney said he was going to get a deal, and then by August 1st, really after August 1st, maybe give it a month or two, Poilievre could have gone down there in October, and that would have been totally acceptable too. Carney's proven he's not going to get a deal. With that, we've got Donald Trump here signing a deal with Japan for $56 billion, making America the biggest source of energy for Japan. And as Table Salt pointing out here, massive blow to Canada and its plan to expand the TMX pipeline. We could have done this. We're sitting on our hands doing nothing. And here's Japan doing a deal with America. Another failure. Jumping ahead here, we've got quite the situation of Mark Carney in London right now. He's going on vacation. Let me wrap this up in a nice bundle and put a bow on it. So Mark Carney goes to 10 Downing Street, meets with Keir Starmer. This is his political stop with his delegation. Then he sends his delegation home on his big gas-guzzling jet, stays there, and then we can speculate why he's staying there. So after his delegation goes home, he meets with King Charles. King Charles asks what he's doing, and then he doesn't want to say he's going on vacation. It's a very awkward moment.
We are showing you the visit between Prime Minister Mark Carney and King Charles at Buckingham Palace earlier today.
Not jet lagged at all, sir. No. That's perfect. I've been around. I've been up in Norway, and all the Nordic countries came together in Canada. We're an honorary Nordic. Don't worry, still part of the Commonwealth. No. And then you're going back tomorrow? I'm going on tomorrow. I'm going on. How's that?
He's going on. He doesn't want to say where he's going. We know he's going to Rome, but he's sticking around in London for a bit.
That's amazing. It was to that price. Oh, good. Well, many more miles than me. So
No. Okay. I think you brought somebody with you, Michelle.
I brought.
No, I think Lucy. This is Terry, who's retiring, but he hasn't come with you.
He's had to go ahead because the delegation plane needed to leave earlier, I think.
Oh my word. Okay.
So his delegation plane left. It's just Carney there now, and probably his wife, and his RCMP detail. That's all who's left. All the media left. There's no one there to see what Carney's doing, which we'll get to here in a second. But look at this. We've got Jay Gen Xer posting this. Carney whispering here because he knows he's mic'd up. Listen to what it catches.
Very much. I've had a disaster today, sir. My border of Canada broke. No. Yes, it fell on the tarmac, which is proof of our family people, the British. Draw no. I'm not of that rank. Well, anyway, it's a great treat to. It's lovely. Much to catch up on. Coming overseas and everything's enjoying. No, I know these.
His Order of Canada fell on the tarmac and broke. This is the big concern to him. Not the Canadians who've lost their jobs. Nah, he doesn't care about that. Not the fact that Trump just did a deal with Japan for supplying their oil, proving that our low carbon oil doesn't have any extra value whatsoever, which brings us back to the Moose chart. Now, what happened on March 16th yesterday? All this happened yesterday. Took a little bit to process here. So let's look at the timeline. So Mark Carney, as you just saw, met with King Charles yesterday. And on the same day, Brookfield's Atrado and Finlight merged in the UK. These are two different companies. We'll get to this in a second, but Mark Carney just happened to be there the same day, immediately after his office meetings in 10 Downing Street, which I showed you there with Keir Starmer. The press pool leaves. Carney goes and meets with King Charles. Carney's in the UK the very same day that Brookfield has this massive merger between two companies, as mentioned here, Atrado and Finlight. Brookfield has a massive European headquarters in London, located in One Canada Square in Canary Wharf. Atrado's headquarters are in London. Finlight's headquarters are in London, and their new combined company headquarters are in London. Is it just a coincidence? Mark Carney is in London at the exact same time, the exact same day this is happening. And what happens? He sends his delegation home. Now he's just with the RCMP, the brass, that have proven to protect the Prime Minister at all costs, even when there's corruption that should be investigated, as we saw with SNC-Lavalin and Justin Trudeau. Are they going to be telling us what he's up to? Who's he going to be meeting with? We won't know because the media delegation went home. So that brings us to this merger here. So this is under the BGTF, Brookfield Global Transition Fund 1, the very same fund Mark Carney set up. We have these two companies here, Atrado On-Site Energy. This is UK distributed solar. This kind of solar is the ones that go on people's houses and then they link it up into essentially a big grid. They can undermine the market. They can sign up big contracts. And then we've got Finlight Holdings, which is a Spanish company. They both merged together. They kept the Finlight name. So they merged into this distributed generation platform. So to make this happen, Atrado On-Site Energy was purchased by Brookfield Global Transition Fund 1 at 66.7% stake, and 33% came from this consortium partner, Real Assets Investment Management. And we see this here. So Brookfield backs solar and merges storage firms, Finlight and Atrado On-Site Energy. We can see Brookfield Global Transition Fund Proton Holdings, which is the name of this company that holds all of these companies, this whole deal. This is under Brookfield Renewables, and I've got the receipts right on the Moose chart here, but this is where this is registered. You can see Canada Square, Canary Wharf, London. This was incorporated back in October 2021 by Mark Carney when he set up this fund, and this is a part of the BGTF, which we see here. And then on the other side of this, Proton Holdings is 100% acquisition back in December 2025, not too long ago. We're talking 3 months ago for 150 million euros of Finlight Holdings. Meanwhile, Brookfield's stake in Atrado is 219 million. They jam these companies together. So as I got stated over here, the current scale, it instantly becomes a massive distributed generation DG platform boasting 700 megawatts of combined capacity across UK, Spain, Portugal, covering 815 commercial industrial sites and 23,000 residential systems. So this is a massive solar company now in Brookfield Global Transition Fund 1, the same fund Mark Carney set up that makes direct profits off of how well this does. And he just happens to be in London the exact same day of this merger, sends his delegation home. You tell me if this doesn't seem unbelievably corrupt. Is he having meetings with these people today, tomorrow, and then he's going to go on to Rome? We won't know because there's no delegation, there's no media there to tell us what's going on. Do you think the RCMP is going to tell us? I don't think so. It says here, the move signals an aggressive push to dominate the European behind-the-meter solar market. These are solar panels that go on people's houses or on businesses. The unified Finlight platform is targeting an expansion of 2 gigawatts of total capacity by 2030, fueled by a planned £2 billion investment. I've got that listed out here with the current assets and the future goal. Here we see the official release on the London Stock Exchange. We can see Atrado On-Site Energy, and we see here BGTF Proton Holdings Limited, Brookfield. This is the fund Carney set up, or it's a sub-company of the Brookfield Global Transition Fund 1, an affiliate Brookfield Asset Management Limited. And we've got more receipts here. Finlight, and you can see this is in Spanish. It's a Spanish company, but Brookfield Renewables here in the top. And more receipts. We've got Uria advises Brookfield on acquisition of Finlight Holdings. So this was back in December when Brookfield bought this company. And here we've got Atrado On-Site Energy to rebrand Finlight after milestone transaction that creates Europe's leading distributed generation company. We got March 16th, Carney confirming that his delegation he just sent back back home. He's on vacation. Is he staying in London to do Brookfield business while on the Canadian taxpayers' dime and we don't get to know about this? I don't know. I don't know what's going on because there's no transparency. Just sure is convenient that his fund that he set up has this huge merger and he's in London right next to their headquarters. What a coincidence. The corruption in Canada is just absolutely unreal. And on top of that, this is how Mark Carney spends his 61st birthday. Anywhere but Canada. He went to his favorite place, London. Meanwhile, we've got Carney's Minister of Defense, David McGuinty, here, getting asked about Poland banning Chinese EVs as spy vehicles not being allowed near their military bases.
And Poland's army is banning Chinese electric vehicles from entering military bases over concerns that they could collect sensitive data. This is the so-called spy cars argument. Is that something that Canada would consider or that your government is not concerned about? Thank you.
About Chinese spy vehicles?
At bases.
At bases. To my knowledge, I don't think we're purchasing vehicles from China right now that are operational at any one of our 33 bases, nor in our forward operating location in Latvia. It's an interesting development. I'm sure the Polish authorities have their own reasons for doing so. We'll take close note of it.
Sorry, like allowing like CAF members who have like a Chinese EV, allowing them to drive into the base, that kind of thing?
Well, that's a question I'll raise with the operational folks on our basis. Thank you.
So you can see he deflected that and, well, we're not buying Chinese EVs. And he's like, well, anyone who works at the base, can they drive their vehicle if it's a Chinese EV into the base? And well, yeah, they don't want to answer that question. As Mark Nixon pointing out, this is bad. This is very bad. This is embarrassing. What's also embarrassing is this. During St. Patrick's Day, they had snipers on the roof for safety, which tells you that they think that these events are no longer safe.
Ontario Police Service is responding to online reaction after images circulated on social media showed a police sniper positioned above a St. Patrick's Street party. Waterloo Regional Police confirmed a sniper was watching over the annual unsanctioned gathering near Wilfrid Laurier University over the weekend. Police say the deployment of tactical officers was part of a broad safety plan that considered the possibility of mass
Canada's not recognizable anymore. When we have snipers watching over us because the Liberals have brought in so many terror lords and just conflicting groups of people from South Asia and the Middle East that don't blend in our society. They fight each other. A lot of them hate our country. And now we've got snipers on the roof.